communities, big and small, up and down the Golden State. More to come on that, and we'll look forward to working with you, and I'm sure take some criticism here in the months to come. Thank you so much.
So I do want to continue, since people want to ask questions. Thank you for being willing to say, thank you. I wanted, on behalf of First Line Run, I wanted to give you both a little gift, and I have kind of failed at my preschool art project. I used some Gorilla Glue and it expands. So this little thing looks like it was made by a preschooler, but it actually wasn't. So this in children's blocks says "Vote for Kids." So it's a little, as we're talking about everything affects children. So it's very tricky with Gorilla Glue, but it'll be a little reminder. Thank you, Senator McGuire.
Right on my desk. Thank you.
I apologize. I am so sorry that I have to run.
We'll see you again.
Yes.
Where were we next?
And I'm not going to be able to stay to answer everyone's questions, but I have a couple more minutes left.
Okay, let's go very quick on our questions.
Muy buenos días, soy
Buenos días.
Victoria Guadron con el programa La Mujer de Hoy. Good morning everyone, how's everyone today? Mr. Levine, I'm here to thank you in behalf to all Central American people for the support for our immigration. I also have a question for you. How do you see the Latino community leading the future of California?
Oh, it's now. It's now, absolutely now. So, the future is the present, and what we've seen in the legislature just last year, both houses were led by Latinos. That's changed now. We have a new leader in the Senate. So I mean, we're seeing the political will of the state represented in those who are elected. I also see that in the willingness of policymakers to view some of the issues that we see, the injustice that we see in the world, be attempted to be solved at the state level. And so when we talked about immigration, that we realized that we didn't need to wait for an administration change in Washington to actually protect people here in California. That we were actually able to change, our own guardianship laws that doesn't change immigration status, but shields immigration status from the federal government. And as you saw with SB 54, that we made a very profound statement that state resources will not be used on behalf of the federal government as well. The expansion of healthcare where the federal government wasn't willing to do it. And so I think that it
is now then.
That's right.
Oh, great, thank you.
Yeah.
I have one more thing, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Like I mentioned, I'm with a program and TV show in Spanish to empower women, real quick. How can you guys help me? Since right now I'm paying everything out in my pocket. And this program is to help Spanish women to get jobs and to empower them.
Wow. Well, as Samantha over there, you want to wave? Yeah, maybe that's something that you can talk about, whether there's a program that you can plug into.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, and I'll just have time for one more question. I'm really sorry.
Thank you. Mark Squire, I'm Good Earth Natural Foods, and I've actually been a sort of an advocate for organic food for most of my life. I just came from this Organic Grower Summit in Monterey, where the industry, the grower group that's leading this, was really looking at the stats of organic, and it's actually quite impressive what organic agriculture is doing in California right now. It is providing a very viable alternative to growing food without pesticides that's not killing our kids, frankly. It's doing it in a way that's economically working very well. It's actually, the preliminary science is showing that organic agriculture is actually a huge contributor to drawdown of carbon in the atmosphere. In fact, I'll take it up with Mike later, but I think he was wrong about the tailpipe thing being the only issue. Agriculture is huge when it comes to climate change issues. So my question is, in light of all that, I know the Farm Bill, I think maybe is getting signed today by the President, but on the national level, I think the Farm Bill is actually putting more money into research into organics than it ever has before. Nonetheless, I think in light of the magnitude of all those problems that organic fixes so well, I think it's really a drop in the bucket. So I guess my question to you is, can't California be more of a leader in that arena? And I would be glad to offer your office more of those stats. The more you look at them, they're quite impressive. And so for us to not be really leading the charge for organic agriculture, to me is a big mistake and an opportunity for us to really be, again, California be a leader. And love to help with legislation there.
And I'll say, Mark, you're at the front lines of this as far as where we get our food and helping to curate the food that so many people in Marin are eating. My children eat your food for hot lunch, so thank you for that. They love it. We are, I think, doing. You may think that we can do more. We in the legislature, we push on organics almost annually. We have a lot of leaders who are supportive of it. I've done legislation both on seed,